All right, we're live, Tom. Welcome. Good morning to Hard Things Nation. How's everyone doing this morning? How you doing, Tom?
Doing not bad. How are you doing, man?
You know what? Not bad for a Monday. A little tired this morning. We had to get up early. Lacey set up at the finish of the Best Sapper competition, and the Do Hard Things Nation is a proud sponsor of that. So it's been awesome to help them. But we had an early start this morning, and as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to head down there and watch those guys finish. Those guys have been grinding, guys and gals, 50 teams, and they've been going hard for the last 72 hours. So it's going to be cool to watch them finish. But if I'm honest, I consumed some beer this weekend because of the competition, meeting up with folks, and I'm feeling it a little bit this morning. We kind of talked about last week, make sure that you're maintaining your energy, right? And so I am paying for my choices that I've made, over the last couple of days this morning by being a little bit tired.
Right. Jay, I got to tell you, I had a good attitude going into last night. I was excited about doing this podcast this morning. I had a shitty sleep.
Yeah.
Like I was tossing and turning middle of the night, and I said, what, screw this. I'm going to go into my office. I'm going to do some work because I just can't unwind. I can't fall asleep. Really shitty, to be honest with you. And, you come into Monday morning with that not being your intention. But the reality is there's so many people who it just happens to be that way. They're coming off of a good weekend, busy weekend, whatever it may be, and then they've got to gear up for Monday. Some people like their job. Most people don't. And they're like, shit, man, it's Monday. I had an awesome weekend. I've got to go back to this. Yeah. You know how it is with some people, right? And today, I kind of feel like that.
Yeah. You don't always feel on your A game, right? You like you said, you have the intention of going into something, but man, if you don't get a good night's sleep, if you don't have good energy, it affects every other aspect of your life.
Yeah, I'm going into my D game today, bud. Like this is a D game. This is not even an A game today. It's a D game. But here's the thing. Shit has to get done. Yep. End of story. I've got a list of things that I've got to do. Whether I want to do them or not, they're going to get done. Let's put the feelings to the side and let's get moving. That's just the way it has to be. Wake up, weekly. It is what it is. You just got to execute.
So what's your strategy? Knowing that you had an intention of crushing the day, but like so many people, you wake up, didn't get a good night's sleep. What is your strategy to crush the day?
Okay. First off, something's bugging me, right? And what's bugging me is I didn't get some sleep. I was restless. You address the core issue. All right. You can bitch and complain all you want, but you address the core issue. And for me, that's going to be later on. I don't want to be a burden on my wife and give her a hard time saying, you know what, I had a shitty sleep. She doesn't want to hear that, nor does she deserve it. But I do have a responsibility to say, hey, Renata, this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. I'm tired, a little bit off today. Just want to let you know. If you can put up with that. But as far as the negative, no, I'm going to focus on the solutions. That's the first thing. And then sometimes with regards to the productivity, you just got to plow through it. Like I said, I've got a list of things that have to get done. Take a look at that list. What's the most important thing? Just tackle it. Just get it done. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're just not practiced at it, right? They haven't flexed those emotional muscles. You just got to tackle those hard things right away, get them done, and then ease into your day. And by the time midday comes through, I'll probably be feeling better because I did something productive. How about you?
Well, so my strategy this morning, definitely hit my coffee routine this morning, but drinking some extra water. Most of the things that I've got to get done are going to be pretty early in the day. I got one thing later in the afternoon. I'm going to try to find, if I can get like a 10 to 15 minute cat nap in, that will help me navigate the day. Just trying to wedge that in. Maybe it's during lunch hour. Maybe it's, I can just find a little break. If I just can rest my eyes for a little bit, I find that really helps. And like you said, knowing that I'm not, I'm a little tired today, like letting Lacey know that, hey, I didn't sleep very well last night. I know she's tired as well, giving each other a little bit of grace, right? Because when you're tired, it affects your mood. And it can, and I know for me, it can make me a little bit more irritable and short with people, and just trying to remind myself of, okay, I'm tired. It's just, show up vibrant, be patient with people. What could trip me up today, and be deliberate about that, and really, save my energy for the things that truly matter, and try to just eat a good meal today. Make sure that I'm deliberate about eating healthy and drinking my water and trying to get a decent night's sleep tonight so I can wake up hopefully better with more energy tomorrow.
Oh yeah. But Jay, do you notice that some people, including me sometimes, they want to hold on to their anger? I don't know what it is about that. They could easily let it go, but no, they want to hold on to it. They want to be bitter throughout the day. And it's almost like a badge of, I don't know what it is, badge of bullshit, but they hold on to it. What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I was on one of the Facebook groups the other day. There's one that I'm in, one of Jocko's groups or whatever. This guy was like, I'm an asshole and I pride myself on being an asshole.
Really?
Like, what is that about? You like making people feel like shit? You like being a prick? Like, what's that about? That's ego, right? I think that's
Right.
ego sometimes, and we just project these negative emotions, and we like to get it out, right? And sometimes our emotions can get away from us. Case in point, Saturday morning, it was Saturday afternoon. I was dropping my daughter off at the park, and I come pulling out to go back home, but I was at a intersection. And this truck was barreling down the hill. I didn't realize how fast they were going, but I'm like, I got plenty of time to get out in front of this truck. So I went ahead and just make the turn. And they were moving at a high rate of speed. And I guess they felt that I pulled out in front of them. And so they whip around me like real quick and like cut me off. And my instant, I mean, this is what I did. I hit the accelerator and just kind of laid on the horn, like got on the bumper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was pissed at the moment. I'm like, you stupid son of a. I'm like, oh, what am I doing, Jay? Like, back off. Nothing good is going to come from this. So I had to catch myself in that very moment because my emotions got away from me. I instantly like, who's cutting me off in the school zone, like right here? And like,
yeah, crazy.
I'm just like, I wanted to rage. Like I wanted to just like hit the accelerator and smash my 4Runner in the back of the truck. But I'm like, okay, set the best version of myself. And I had to kind of reset myself. And I was fuming. When I get pissed, I hold on to that sometimes. So I was very deliberate about, okay, here I'm at rage on the emotional ladder. Okay, how can I decompress myself to get myself back into a better state? But I wanted to just pull that person out of the truck and just.
You get that a lot? Road rage?
Not very often, but I don't know what it was about that particular situation. I don't get it very often, but in that moment I was heated. Because it was so ridiculous. I'd never seen. I mean, they whipped around me like in this residential zone, right in front of the school. Yeah. And in that moment, it triggered me. I was like, who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So here's the thing, Jay. Here's the thing. I look at the weeks flying by. Right. I cannot believe how quickly they fly by. I had the in-laws in late December. And for vacation for 2 weeks, they're gone. I'm like, it seemed like it was just the other day. And here we are moving into May. I'm like, it's May already? What's the deal with this? Time flies by like crazy. All right. This week's going to fly by. By Friday, I mean, you're like, what just happened to the week? And I don't know, as you get older, maybe that's the case, right? But are you going to, we all have 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do today to make this day fulfilling for yourself, to make it satisfying, regardless of the feel? Like I feel like somebody pissed in my cornflakes. I got to get over it. I got to make something out of the day, make something out of the week. Otherwise, it's going to blow by and it's just going to be another week. And do people want to live their life like that, live for the weekend, or do they want to make something out of Monday, Tuesday, and so on? You notice that, Jay? Your day's just flying by.
Dude, this year is flying by. I'm looking here at the calendar. Like it's like one quarter of this year is already over with.
Yeah. And what do you have to show for it? I mean, there's two options. You either savor every single moment you can and create highlights, and the hope is, and you do some amazing shit to contribute to your family's life and others. That's what it is. And if you don't do that, then what do you have? So there's an old saying, life is a daring, bold adventure, or it's just bullshit. It's nothing at all. That's my twist to that. What do you want to live? You want to just pass time so you can live for the weekend, or do you actually want to do something?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, if you're living just for the weekend, and I think Gary Vaynerchuk's got this quote, if you're just living for the weekend, your shit's broken is what he says. And it's really honoring the struggle. Happiness can only be found in the present moment. So even at work, even though it may not be the most exciting task, how can you remind yourself to be present and live in the moment, and maybe have more conversations with the people that you work with, and just try to make it, because there's a lot of people feeling that, right? And being more present and engaged in the moment.
So what do you tell the person who is dreading to go back to work on Monday? What do you tell that person? You're saying be present in the moment. What else?
I say, what is your intention for the day? How can you set an intention?
Yeah.
And how can you set an intention at the workplace? Because oftentimes we're just kind of showing up, and I've been there, just trying to survive the day, trying to just make it through the day to get to that 5 o'clock whistle so I can live my life, right? And that's a tough way to exist, because that's a third of your life, right? That's 1/3 of your day, and
Yeah,
1/3 of.
Somebody's going to say this to you. Somebody's going to say, "My intent is to get through the day, Jay."
Yeah, be like, you got to demand more from yourself, right?
Right.
Like, what is your intention? Do you have a theme for the day? And how can you live up with that? And is there a moment in the day, maybe there's a meeting, or maybe there's a conversation, or maybe there's someone new at work that you haven't talked to before, but set an intention with the people at work for the day, and have something to look forward to, and try to make that atmosphere a little bit more positive.
But Jay, I hate everyone at work.
Well, Tom, I don't know that we can fix that on this call today, but I get that. I have been like, we have like some really, so you're part of a frustrating team. Maybe you're in a toxic work environment. I've had that before, right? I've had that where I've had a toxic supervisor, and man, my wheels start spinning as I start thinking about these things. It like kind of makes me just, I just feel it, right? In those times, it's like, how can you generate some energy, some physical and emotional positive energy in those moments? Maybe it's on your drive into work, or moments throughout the day. Maybe you listen to something positive.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of going through the drive-through at work at lunch hour, because that used to be one of the things I used to do, is like, oh man, I'm breaking away from the office. Cool. What do I want to do? Man, you know what makes me feel good? Getting that Popeye's chicken, that spicy chicken sandwich in a shake.
Yeah.
And
easy
and then
stuff.
the easy stuff that makes me feel good at the moment. And then it's like, man, you go back to work at 1 o'clock, and you're just like, oh man, your stomach's full like a snake. You just ate something. And then it's like that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, like sleep, the Z monster comes in and like wants to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, going for a walk, maybe eat something light like a salad, drinking some water, putting something positive between your ears to recharge yourself for the next part of the day. And it's little things like that throughout the day that will really make a difference in your day.
Oh, big time. What I realized, this is Tony Robbins stuff. Well, first off, I want to say this. Here we are. We're doing this podcast to help people wake up and take charge. But the reality is, some people are stuck. Some people are in a rut. Some people are not in a good mood. So we're not going to present this as, hey, rah, rah, rah. We're going to, let's face the reality of what people are experiencing, including us, right? I'm just a regular dude, just as you are. But Tony Robbins talked about a technique whereby, how do you enhance an experience? How do you make an experience go from a 6 to an 8 or a 9? Something as simple as, for me, it's weight training. I hate weight training, but how do I enhance that experience? I'll condition the room temperature-wise so it's comfortable. I'm in a hot climate, so I'll bring that up to a 7. I'll listen to some motivating stuff or some really cool music. That brings it up to an 8. I might challenge myself with some goals. That might bring it to a 9. I mean, you can do that anywhere. Your drive to work that's miserable, you can bring that from a 5 out of 10, traffic, commute, to, hey, I'm going to listen to a podcast, or I'm going to listen to a comedy act or something, versus the news. Now, all of a sudden, you enhance the driving experience. You bring it from a 5 to 8, listening to, I like Joe Rogan, so I'm going to listen to Joe Rogan, right? All right, it goes from a 5 to 8 because I'm taking in some information.
Yeah. It's changing. I think you kind of hit it. Changing your physiology, whether it be through workout, or I alluded to it, like going for a walk, or maybe it's if you can go in if I'm having a rough day and I'm really tired, I'm getting ready to present at a meeting or something, I go in the bathroom, just splash some cold water on my face, drink some cold water, shock the body a little bit, change your physiology. and then just basically changing your environment. You can choose to listen to the news, something that's going to piss you off. I mean, when I listen to the news now, I generally don't have a positive outlook after I listen to that, but listening to something positive. And I like what you said about the comedy. I talk about this. I actually had a therapy session last week with my therapist. And one of the things that I identified is that when I watch TV, it's very serious stuff. I'm always listening to personal growth and development, or I'm watching a documentary, or I'm watching like a World War II movie of some kind, all very serious stuff. And the other day, was it Friday night? We're flipping through, had some time with the kiddos, and Tom's gone. Anyway, we're watching TV, and there was a George Carlin episode, one of his comedic episodes. So we put on the old George Carlin and listen to him. And my daughter had never heard of George Carlin before, and we just laughed our ass off, like full on, like belly laugh, and it felt so good, and it made me realize that I need to laugh more. And that was one of the topics that we talked about. My therapist was like, you know what? We need to find moments and opportunities to laugh. And my therapist is great. He went on like a 10-minute comedic routine with all of these different jokes. We laughed so hard. And it was at that moment make me realize that I need to laugh more in my life. And so, yeah, the brain is a pharmacy. The most powerful tools you have to change your chemistry, therefore changes your outlook. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's having intention and having awareness and doing those things with intention that enable you to change your environment, change your physiology. But it's very difficult when you're not feeling on your A game, or you're down, to do those things. But having the psychological discipline of like, you know what, I'm going to, instead of doing my habit thing of turning on the news or whatever, or going through the drive-through or whatever it is that my habits are, like having the psychological discipline to know that despite I don't really want to do this action, my initial response is to resist that. But if I do that, I'm going to feel better. It's going to energize me. Doing that anyway, that's discipline, right? That's having a disciplined psychology to do the things that you don't necessarily want to do, because you know it's going to change your physiology. You know it's going to change yourself. All right, Tom's back. Hey, we lost you, brother. Welcome back.
You know, I did that on purpose to see how you'd struggle with the podcast by yourself.
Oh, we kept on rolling, man. I was in the groove.
Yeah, my battery died. It's one of those days. It's a shit show today. It's already started.
Dude, resistance is there. Resistance is, some days you have it. Some days I sense the resistance is more powerful than other days. So
yeah, exactly.
That's the struggle. So we got a few
raising the intensity of your day to make it a better day. I mean, that's one technique that you can do, just as you said, right? I think the second thing to do is, there's so many people out there who home to work, and there is no passion. They have no passion. They have no passion project, right? I asked somebody, what are you passionate about? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Like, what do you like doing outside of work that just really drives you and motivates you? And a lot of people don't know. So my advice to somebody is, find your passion. If you don't love your job and you can tolerate, that's fine. What are you excited about after work?
Yeah, you got to have something, which that's why I've got a lot of friends that are endurance athletes. They're excited about that Ironman triathlon they're training for, or that 100-mile race, or the MR340, or that 5K that's coming up, the CrossFit Games, or they're going to be doing some type of lifting competition, right? We need competition. We need something that's going to demand something for ourselves. So people that are struggling, and I say this all the time when I help people with their health and fitness, they're going about it wrong. They're like, I'm just trying to lose weight so I feel better about myself. I'm trying to lose 20 pounds so I can get into a certain pant size. That doesn't seem to work for most people. You have to embody the mindset of an athlete and have something that's going to demand more of yourself. And therefore fitness is a byproduct. It's the same with like leading the 75 hard group and challenge. That program is not designed as a health and wellness program. It's a mental grit and discipline challenge. But the byproduct of that, if you embody that, is you're going to get fit. But if you look at every workout as like, oh, this is, I'm just, you know, this because you and I both have talked about this. I don't necessarily like to run all the time. You don't necessarily like to lift all the time, but we're competing for something, or we have a goal that's meaningful to us, and you have that compelling vision of the future, and you do it anyway. That's where the motivation comes from.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what ends up happening too, when you do have something passionate that you're working towards, if your job is not quite up to your satisfaction motivation wise, at least you have something to think about at work, right? At least you have something in your mind that's not negative. You're excited about something. You know what? Hey, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to do that towards my performance. And it's something positive in your mind that occupies your space because you're so passionate about it. So, like I said, if you're somebody struggling with that, find your passion. Find something you love to doing besides sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix. Or what some people do is, besides becoming a foodie. Listen, I'm a foodie. I love my food. I know you love your food. It's besides just focusing entirely on food.
Yeah. I think what you're getting at about having something to look forward to is really anticipation. When you have anticipation, and what you do is you tend to visualize like connecting with your friends or connecting with that meaningful pursuit, that passion project, because it makes you feel alive. When you're doing something as like an 8-hour workday, maybe work that's uninspiring in the moment, but you have something to anticipate, it's that having a compelling vision of the future of what you're going to engage in.
Yeah.
That's what makes you kind of get through the day and makes you feel alive. Now, utilize that same anticipation for having a lofty vision of your future. You can have anticipation for your career, your relationships, your health, your finances. You know, I always tell people you need to have a vacation on the calendar. That way you have something, because the anticipation and the visualization of, because it ties you in, it makes you think about the things that your previous experiences that were good. And maybe you start to visualize how that vacation is going to go, and it makes you feel good and enables you to get through kind of the doldrums of the day.
Yeah, big time. And there's two more things. One thing has to do with community. All right. I know this. If I'm not in a good mood and I send a funny text or a meme to my kids, something really stupidly funny, they get a laugh out of it and they're going to respond. You know, everyone's on their phones these days. You're probably going to get a response within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And then you chat it up a little bit and that puts a smile on your face. So it's your community, you know, that inner circle. Who are you talking to throughout the day in just a small little way where you still feel connected versus, hey, I'm all alone here in this shitty job. You know, that connection is huge. Our son drives a truck. He works for a uniform company. They deliver uniforms to various businesses. And every single day while he's on the road, he'll call my wife for 30 minutes. And that's the highlight of his day. It's FaceTiming. I've got a chance to pop in and say hello. Otherwise, that drive is mundane. He doesn't care if he's in traffic. Doesn't matter. He won't look at us, but we can see him, and he's looking straight ahead, and we have a wicked conversation. He's taken that boring drive and made it something great because he's connected to somebody he loves, right? Meaning my wife. He's somebody he likes, meaning me. But the bottom line is you remain connected. And so many people think they're living this world by themselves, when in fact, there are people out there who would love to connect with you and stay in touch, and it'll probably serve them well too.
I think it's just funny. I kind of make fun of Lacey about this all the time, because she'll call her parents in the morning, and her parents and her sister lives there too, and they've got the old phone system. So when she gets on the phone with them, it'll be like mom's on the phone, dad's on the phone, sister pops on the phone, like the Waltons. You know, you just don't see that. You don't hear about that anymore. I'm like, man, that's so like 1980s, 1990s, and it's so. I think it's cute because you don't see that anymore. But she calls them regularly, and they're like just talking about, you know, whatever. But she makes that deliberate connection every day, and I think it's awesome.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. So again, you know, your inner circle. No matter what, at some point today, I'm going to be in touch with the kids. I'm going to be obviously in touch with my wife. I'm going to probably chat with you later on. I've got my clients. Like, I'm constantly talking to people, and when I'm alone by myself and not doing something productive, that's the devil's workshop, man.
Yeah.
It's bad news. But when you're communicating with people, so you got to reach out. You got to build your community if you don't have one. And if you do have one, use it.
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
I'm introverted by just my natural disposition, but I make time for those community connections and to be deliberate about it, because I can get into some times and periods where I'm just kind of like, I just need to recharge my batteries. Like this activity right now is a big energy drainer for me. That's being introverted. It just saps a lot of energy. Whereas extroverted people, they would get energy from this. Like my friend Craig, I mean, when he's around people, he just gets energized even more and more and more, and he needs that.
Totally.
For me, I just need a little bit of time to recharge, a little quiet time. But if I'm not careful about it, I can go like periods of time where I'm not connecting with people, and that's not good. And I've had that where I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit more disconnected from people, and I need to be around my tribe. I need to be around the people that make me feel good and love me and care for me.
Oh yeah, big time. I took a little bit of offense to what you said. This is an energy drainer because you're talking to me.
No, it's just,
I can't believe it.
Not in a negative way. It just demands a lot of energy from me. I absolutely love it, but at the same time, when I get off this call, I'm going to be like, whew, that just took something from me. Are you an introvert or are you an extrovert?
Total introvert.
Total introvert.
Total
So
introvert.
you don't find something like this draining to you in some way?
Why? Isn't it just you and I talking? You mean there's not 50,000 people listening? Holy shit, 50,000 people are listening to this? Damn it. Okay, now I'm energy drained.
Yeah. They're all sapping our energy as we're on
I
the
thought
call.
it was just you and I in a Zoom call here. Damn it. Oh, man, now I'm stressed out. Well, here's the thing. You know what? I think, number one, you're really talented. You're very good. You're very personable. For people to think that you're an introvert would be weird, because I disagree. But a lot of people who are very successful are introverts.
Yep.
Right? I'm an extrovert because I need to be. Otherwise, I move into introvert mode. But here's the thing. What we're sharing here is going to resonate with some people. It's not going to resonate with others. They're going to say, these guys are a bunch of buffoons, or these guys are awesome. Whatever it is, I don't care. There's going to be certain people. If there's one person listening to this saying, you know what, I dig these guys. These guys are good. Then great. I didn't do it for everyone else.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And then the second thing is, I really don't care what people think. I don't give a rat's ass what people think. And here's the problem. You go up, do I look good? Am I clean shaven? Did I fix up my hair? Am I going to stutter through this? Am I going to sound bad? Who gives a shit? You don't like it, turn it off. You like it, keep listening. It doesn't matter. I don't get fazed by the likes and all that kind of shit. And I think people got to go beyond themselves and just present themselves. And that's it. And not worry about shit.
Yeah. I kind of going back to your point about just energy draining, like as a leader, because I look at, we're like leaders within the community here. We're trying to develop a tribe here, or if I'm at work or with my kids, even though I'm an introvert, like I go into these things with an intention. I'm trying to set an intention to have a good conversation with you, to maybe motivate and inspire. That demands me to show up. But I've talked to a lot of people about this, because especially in the speaker world, just because you're an introvert doesn't mean that you're incapable of getting up in front of people and projecting energy or doing something that's going to motivate and inspire. Right. It just means that you need to be intentional about that, and how you recharge is going to be different than an extrovert. Just because you're an extrovert doesn't make you a good speaker or a good leader. No. It's just how your energy flows in and out, and being intentional about that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are watching this is your chance to look me in the eyes. I might not have been looking in your eyes because I'm not looking at that green dot in front of my screen here. Or if you're on a podcast listening in the car, turn it up. Here's the point. I am not Ryan Reynolds. I am not here to entertain you for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. My job is to maybe give you one single nugget of information that you personally can use, so that you can be more successful during your day, during your week, during your quarterly goals. That's the purpose of it. So when I listen to somebody, I want a couple of key nuggets that I can apply. 95% of whatever else they say, I'm probably going to discard. I don't care about it. But that's that one point that's going to hit home. That's why you listen.
Yeah. Yeah. That one golden nugget can set your intention for the day. I hear a good gold nugget or something like that. That gets me fired up. That one liner gets me going.
All you needed. It's all you needed. Everything else was a waste. These guys are talking stupid shit, but that one point that made sense. You just got that gold nugget that made your day if you apply it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're about 30 minutes into this thing. I got to run off and watch the Sappers finish up out there on Gammon Field at Fort Leonard Wood. So what's your gold nugget for the day?
The gold nugget? The gold nugget is I've got to persevere regardless of how I feel.
Yeah.
I've got mouths to feed. I've got some legacy to create. So it doesn't matter. We're going to do what we're going to do.
Yeah, we got to show up and deliver anyway. No, it's interesting that we're both a little tired. I can sense that you're much more tired than you were last week, and just I know there's people out there listening. Like, you know, we're human. That's part of the human dynamic. You're not always going to be on your A game, but it's setting that intention and showing up and you know, delivering on the things that truly matter and being intentional about how can I generate more energy. Your body doesn't just naturally have energy. You're going to have to, your energy tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be dictated by what you do today.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I know we're almost done here. We do have the Forge group on Wednesday nights. Anyone who wants to join that group and maybe kind of find out what we're all about, can they tap in, Jay? How do they do that?
Yeah, they can tap in. Right now it's jaytiegs.com, JAYTIEGS.com. And every Wednesday night, we have a team meeting, 7 o'clock, where we go a little bit deeper, a little bit more technical and tactics. We got a community of people in there. And part of that community, what's cool is that we've got, we drop in motivation like throughout the week. Like we've got a communication thread, and you got a community of like-minded people that are cheering each other on. And everyone in that group has been absolutely killing it. So if you want to give that a try, you want to pop into the community and see what that's all about. You can direct message me or Tom, or just go to jtiegs.com and you can see in there, the tab on there says join the community, join the Forge. We'd love to have you. And that's about it. I'm excited about Monday. Like I said, I'm getting ready to go out there and watch the Sappers cross the finish line. And I'm going to set the day with, we're going to make it happen despite being tired. We're going to get it done.
Right on. All right. Cheers, bro. Have a good week.
You too, brother. We'll talk to you guys later in the day. And appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in to listen to us. Hopefully you gained some value. We got a lot of people blowing up the chat here. So we appreciate you guys. Have a kick-ass day. Right Who loses if you don't win? That's one of my favorite questions. So think about that. You got to win. Demand more. Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you guys. Do hard things. We'll see you guys later. See you, brother.
Take care.